Hi everyone. So I am sharing my thoughts on my forum post via video. First question says, discuss what types of policymakers would be the most receptive to utilizing the family impact lens and why. I think that the way that the book outlines the family impact lens, it would seem that most policymakers would find viewing family and family policy through the family impact lens advantageous, whether it's economic policy, whether it's healthcare policy, whether it's social policy. But it seems like in the United States, it's not taking as an advantage. Family impact lens is basically saying that everything is connected to the family or can be. So if you make a policy about money or income, that directly relates and impacts the family. If you make a policy about health care, that directly relates, whether it's the mother, it impacts the children. If you make a policy about prison reform as an individual, that directly impacts the family that individual is going back to, particularly if they're a parent, which a large number of inmates are. And so I think that the challenge with the US is that, as the book talks about, there's this individualistic, sort of centric idea that the US comes from, rather than this familism. I hope I'm saying that right. Whereas a lot of other European countries have families sort of engrafted into the fabric of their constitution. The word family doesn't even come up in our constitution, and so it makes you question how much the family is valued and how much it was valued by our forefathers and why it didn't come up. Whereas it comes up in a lot of these other countries, industrialized countries, constitutions. And I think that's what makes the U.S. family policy fundamentally different from other countries, is that we firmly hone in on this individual centric position, and to sort of time at times to the detriment of our families. And I like the policy that Finland has that provides 10 months of family leave, with 4 months available to the mother and 6 months that can be shared by both parents. I think just including both parents in them recognizes the equality of a gender role, the equality of caretaking, of nurturing a child that comes from both parents. And so I think that's something that the U.S. absolutely should adopt. Right now, childcare is a huge reason why, or maternity leave, parental leave is a huge reason why people aren't having as many kids or having kids at all. And so I think that that's something we should definitely adopt. It gives the individual, the parent, more flexibility, but also by having children, your society and economy grows. The less people that you have, the less growth. It speaks to something about the culture of your country and what they value. And then and what can be done to combat partisan polarization. I think it's inevitable because we have this individualistic, sort of centered philosophy. It's kind of inevitable that you're going to have these two parties or three parties that are kind of always vying for their position, and they're coming from oftentimes how they're not coming necessarily from a family impact lens. They're coming from basically how they define family, and also based on how they define family, what's most important. I think an idea that came up for me is a lot of these policies that are being made, they're benefiting oppressed and marginalized and impoverished groups often. And so then what is the incentive for the rich, white, straight male to want to adopt these policies, whether they're Democrat or Republican? You know, what motivates them to do that, when at the end of the day, many of these policies don't necessarily benefit a rich, white, straight male? And so those are some of the thoughts that I've had. Love to hear your thoughts.